Who are the seven princes of hell? According to Peter Binsfield, the seven princes of hell are classified as the personifications of the seven deadly sins. The seven princes of hell are as follows: Lucifer, sin of pride; Mammon, sin of greed; Leviathan, sin of envy; Asmodeus, sin of lust; Beelzebub, sin of gluttony; Sathanas or Satan, sin of wrath; Belphegor, sin of sloth. The seven princes were the leaders of the demons that resides in the Abrahamic Underworld, known as Hell. Dark and dangerous beings of immense power and presence. A wave of their hands, and whole swaths of land would be reduced to inhospitable wastelands. A simple command, and an army would charge out to crush their foes, more afraid of failing their leader than the pointed spears of their enemies. They were monsters, both in body and heart. Ruthless and cruel, their souls were hardened by ambition and Faustian efficiency. For years, hell has been organized by Lucifer into the ruling body called the Seven Princes, in which the leading seven would rule over different vast areas of their lands. Each prince was responsible for their own subjects and lands. Many enjoyed how organized this system was, though a select few hated being forced at the bottom for their others to be on top. Their counterparts and rivals are the seven archangels. The princes of hell are high-level demons that possess powers over all demons in hell, totally transcending every lesser demon to the point where they are able to destroy legions of low-level demons with the snap of a finger. Many demons and even angels like the cherubim fear coming into a prince's field of vision, as some of them who have fallen were seraphim-level demons and even true archangels like the morning star. They say that even for a human to summon a prince from hell is a super risky thing to do, because the more powerful the demon, the greater the offering has to be, to force a manifestation in the human realm. In some cases, they say that the manifestation of a powerful prince like Asmodeus is capable of causing a blackout across the North American continent. Regarding the offering, to invoke someone like Beelzebub may require sacrifice from several people, although in some cases it is not such a sacrifice but by the devil's chosen. In ancient times, the seven princes were once believed to be the gods that once created humanity, and as a result were worshipped by them. When Judeo-Christian regime began, those gods had been demonized, by genocide committing Judeo or Christians who were attempting to cut the world off from spiritual knowledge. In actuality, these demons were fallen angels that rebelled alongside Lucifer, the angel that defied God which caused the war in heaven. After their fall from grace, each of the beings were twisted and transformed into hideous abominations. After the war of heaven, the imprisoned fallen angels decided they needed a form of ruling government in their new plane of existence. Some vied for power, but undoubtedly, the ruler of hell at the time was the leader of the fallen angels, the charismatic morning star, Lucifer. Courageous and strong, he made others bow before him through persuasion, bribery, or intimidation. Over time, they grew strong and held dominion over all of hell, with Lucifer as the supreme emperor of hell and with Beelzebub as his second in command. Eventually, the seven began retaliation against God by tempting humanity to sin. As such, each of the seven princes became the physical representations of the seven deadly sins, being pride, sloth, greed, gluttony, wrath, envy, and lust. This is a sensitive topic. It's not necessarily one that is mentioned explicitly in scripture, but it is an interesting idea that many scholars have attempted to explain in the last 600 years. Today we'll take a look at some of these ideas, mostly focusing on the classification of demons by Peter Binsfield, which borrows heavily from the idea of the seven deadly sins. Origin of the seven princes of hell. Peter Binsfield, he was a German bishop and religious scholar born in Germany in 1540 or 1545, depending on varying sources. As a child, Peter was gifted enough to be sent to Rome to study. When he returned, he became a prominent figure in many anti-Protestant campaigns. What he was most well known for was the part he played in the witch trials of Trier, which took place from 1581 until 1593. Binsfield wrote an influential piece titled Of the Confessions of Warlocks and Witches, which contained the alleged confessions of these individuals that had been obtained through torture and, therefore, according to him, should be believed and trusted. This is important because, at the time, Peter was considered a rather intelligent man, an expert in religion and its supernatural elements. In 1589, amongst the chaos of these witch trials, he published a list of demons that he believed to be the lords or princes of hell. According to Binsfield, the 7 deadly sins were much more than just deadly vices. He believed each one was a demon. So, who are these demons? The 7 princes of hell are a collection of fearsome foes, spread across various religions and cultures, but they find their origins in the writings of notorious witch hunter and German Bishop Peter Binsfield, who tortured confessions out of supposed witches that turned into what he perceived as the chief villains behind witchcraft, these 7 princes. Each one lorded over a specific sin, and each one has made numerous appearances across various religious texts, from the Bible itself to the Book of Tobit. Some started as angels themselves, most were created by God, and the links to Christianity go deeper than that. They've also worked their way into literature, particularly of Binsfield's time. Works such as Paradise Lost and Dante's Inferno feature the princes in various forms, and demonology experts across the centuries have kept them nice and organized in various encyclopedias like the Dictionnaire Infernal. The results differ from source to source, but a few core ideas remain the same. For instance, each prince was its own entity, even if they were often conflated with one another, and each demon has significant power that has been seen throughout history. According to Binsfield, the princes were divided as such. According to mythology and fiction explained, Lucifer presided over pride and Satan presided over wrath. Beelzebub represented gluttony, Belphegor symbolized sloth, Leviathan was in charge of envy, Asmodeus encouraged lust, and finally, Mammon presided over greed. Here are some things you might want to know about them. Lucifer's name means light bearer. He was also known as the instigator of the war in heaven. Whatever you flush down the toilet goes to Belphegor. He is also known as a shapeshifter. Leviathan was a literal monster and guards the gates of hell. Asmodeus has 3 heads and some wicked powers. He also deposed King Solomon. Beelzebub is known as Lord of the Flies. In the end, little is known about them all. For we mortals can only imagine what horrors they bring and what truly lies beneath the burning fires of hell.